Hello? 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 You heard me sniff? Can you hear me speak? Can you hear me? Yay! Oh my gosh. So, here's the scoop. Good gracious. Alright, alright, so I can't skip to use my phone because I need to use my phone for the Instagram people. So, hello, Instagram. Okay, so here's the scoop. With the good camera, howdy. Woohoo! With the good camera, I have to pick the right microphone, and last night that good microphone stopped showing up. And so for the broadcast we did last night on Nancy Lombardo's podcast, we had to figure out which microphone. And so when I came in today, it still was not being the right microphone. And so I don't know why the one microphone that I know it's supposed to be is not showing up. So it seems to be, I don't know, but Stephen is right. It is probably one little setting, and we gotta call it Mercury retrograde. So we are officially in Mercury retrograde. It started on Thursday, I believe, and we are officially in it. And right, so there's been lots of little glitchy things. There's been lots of little hiccupy things, and we know to expect these things for Mercury retrograde already, right? So there's a lot that's going on right now. So we have Mercury retrograde. We have two major planets that are moving into the sign of Pisces, and then we also have the eclipse. We have the full moon is today, and we have the eclipse I think is the full moon is today, and we have the eclipse that is tomorrow. So there is a lot going on. So the full moon is tomorrow morning. Okay, so today is also the feast of Esther. For those of you who are participating, Chag Purim Sameach, Happy Purim. And remember, what we do in Purim is we cheer for the good guys, yay, and we boo for the bad guys, boo. So maybe that's something fun to help you. So look, Mars is moving into Pisces. Mercury retrograde is in Pisces. Saturn and Neptune, we talked about last week, have just moved out of Pisces. They are now moving in, where did they go? They're moved out of, they're in Aries, and they moved out of Pisces. So heavy hitters. You saw the line of 6 planets up in the sky where you could see them all, and when that happens every once in a while. This is a lot of energy, and there's a lot that is going on, right? So we talked last week about how with Saturn and Neptune, these are very big, heavy mover planets that are bringing a lot of things to the fore. And one of the things that they bring as they move out of Pisces and into Aries is the truth teller, right? We talked last week about how we don't want to see, more just talk. We want proof. We want to see action. We want to see proof of things that are going on. Don't just tell me, you need to prove it to me. You need to show me, right? Like, we're all from Missouri, it's the show me state, okay? So this is where we are right now, is that it's all about show me the money. Think about your inner Jerry Maguire here. And it's not all about money, but it is a good word, syzygy. And actually, if you ever drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, there is an exit on the highway that is like ZYXXYZ. It's Zizix, something like that, and it's hilarious. It always makes me think of syzygy. So look, there's a lot of emotion. Pisces is a water sign. Water is all about the emotions. If you're feeling a little over emotional right now, or in the next couple of days, just remember the eclipses, it's like Spinal Tap. This one goes to 11, okay? So when you have the eclipse, it turns the volume up on everything, which is also what retrograde does. Retrograde reminds us to take a step back, reminds us to look at things, to review, revisit. Retrograde means to go back, right? So it's really this time that with everything that's moving into Pisces, we have Saturn and Neptune that left, but it's not. You hear me talk all the time about how energy is not like instant, right? It's not, oh, they're out, bye. Okay, it is a process, right? So there's still this residual energy while they're moving into Aries. So we have a lot of things happening in the water sign, right? So we have Mercury retrograde, we have Mars, and we have Saturn and Neptune have left the building, and then we have the full moon tomorrow in the morning. So we're already feeling into that energy. And then we're having the full moon eclipse. So the moon is going to actually have an eclipse. There is going to be the shadow of the earth comes across the moon, and the moon is going to look red. And there's not the end of the world. It's not the end of days. It is an eclipse, and it is a beautiful thing if you have the opportunity to watch it. You can Google and see where it's going to be most visible in your time zone, hoping for clear skies. And then also, we have time change coming up this next week as well. So there's a lot that's moving, and all of this is based in the water signs. Pisces is about emotion, okay? And Pisces, you have the fish, and we see this like with the yin and the yang and going around and around. So this is really this time that's inviting us to go back and re-look at things, okay? So we're also being asked in this time, look, in any time of Mercury retrograde, if you can avoid major financial decisions, maybe don't go into escrow on a house in retrograde, maybe don't, and I know people do it, and I'm not saying it's not the gospel, just be aware. Like if you're going to quit a job, maybe wait till March when we're not in retrograde, okay? If you're going to propose or, break up. Well, no, not so much break up, because you got to do what you got to do. But if there are things that are major life decisions that you can wait on until we're not in retrograde, that is a good plan, right? And especially when things are not so much in Pisces, right? Because this is a very emotionally charged time. Now, you couple this with what we've just had, right, on where we can still see this in the taillights, is show me, show me, show me. And we also have this time of wanting to do, right? So Mercury retrograde gives us this time for action, because Mars in Pisces Mars is another big planet. I mean, these are not the little Pluto planets. These are big planets that move a lot of energy. And there's a lot of impetus right now for people like, I want to go forward. And we've been talking for a lot of months about, hey, we just want to wait. We want to pump the brakes. We want to just allow things to unfold. We're just going to let things go, and not let things go, but we're just going to let things unfold, right? We talked about folding in and unfolding as my word for the year. And so there is this impetus now with Mars in Pisces that it's like, let's go. We're ready to hit the gas. It's time to go. And I actually had lunch with a friend of mine today, and that was one of the things we were talking about. And she's like, I just want to go. I'm ready. And I was like, okay. But as we were looking through the conversation, she's like, why can't I go? And I said, well, look at these things that are happening. You have Mercury retrograde. We have, all of these other things. But then just in looking at the things in her life, it said, look, the universe is trying to show you, for you to be ready to go, which is great, there's a few things that the universe is trying to get worked out for you and show you, hey, listen, before you jump in your car and head to the beach, let's make sure, do you have a blanket? Do you have sunscreen? Do you have water? Do you have an umbrella? Here in Florida, the sun gets very, very bright. Okay, so the universe is saying, we get that you want to hop off and let's do it. I'm ready. Okay, and I have that energy too. There's things I'm trying to get done, and there's lots of stuff, but we want to take a breath. Okay, the universe is saying, we hear you, but we want to make sure, because we are in co-creation, that we want to make sure that you have your umbrella, and you have your sunscreen, and you've got gas in your car. And hey, do you have some quarters in case you need to park at a meter? I know, showing my age, it's all on credit cards now. Do you have what you need? Are you really ready to just hit the gas pedal and take off like a drag racer? Or are there other things the universe is trying to show you right now? And so Mercury retrograde reminds us we're emotionally charged right now in Pisces. And so this feeling of yeah, may have dropped, let's go. And retrograde is like, okay, let's take a minute. Let's take a breath. Let's make sure, if you check out of a hotel room, you want to do an idiot check. And I don't love that term, but you want to just make sure you didn't, weren't stupid and left something obvious behind, right? Can't tell you how many times I've left something in the refrigerator, okay? So to be able to say, okay, let me just take that breath, okay? So this is where we are right now. And keeping in mind with this eclipse coming tomorrow, it is going to get even more intense. So as we break, as we breathe, okay, just know that all of this is part of a very powerful reset that is happening, that is really the universe trying to say, okay, double check, let's do the idiot check, and then we're good to go. Okay, so just give it a couple days. By the time we hit March, we're going to be cooking with gas. Okay, we're going to be ready to go, and we're going to be, the lights will be more green as we get into March and we get out of retrograde. But it's important to understand there are a lot of energies right now that could work with us, but they're there for our protection and they're there for our guidance. And it's important for us not to try intentionally to work against them. Okay, that is not in our best interest. So, all right, we have that. Let's see. I do want to mention, if you did not catch I was so honored to have been on Nancy Lombardo's podcast for Lilydale Assembly last night. And if you weren't able, a bunch of people said they couldn't get on to the live broadcast, and I'm so sorry, there was some sort of a glitch. We were aware of it afterwards, and again, Mercury retrograde, but the recording is up and it is on my page, so please don't hesitate to click on that. It was a really good conversation, and I was really honored to be part of Nancy's podcast. Also, enrollment is open for the Empowered Empath Method. That is going to be open until the 10th of this month, and there is a live Zoom call that is part of this live enrollment. Once the 10th passes, the enrollment is not closed, but if you're enrolling after the 10th, you will not be able to be part of the live Zoom call, which is the questions and answers and really some real intimate work with me. And the call will be recorded. It will be recorded, and you will be able to get the recording. But if you want to be part of the live call, then you want to make sure that you are enrolling in the Empowered Empath Method, and that is on my website. And you'll be able to do that so that we have the live, because I want you to be part of the live broadcast. Of course, I want you to be part of the live coaching and live Q&A coaching. That was the word I couldn't think of. So it is very, very exciting. So lots of wonderful things, going on, and we got all that stuff in and up and done before retrograde. So that is great. So I'm always wanting to start with the Archangel cards, with Kyle Gray's Archangels cards, to just see who's hanging out with us this week. And this is Amethyst. Now, Amethyst is not an archangel, and last week we started looking at some of the crystal cards, and that's really interesting because I was thinking, like, we need some amethyst around, and then here she is. Now, amethyst is not an archangel, but this is just the crystals have thank you, Chris. Crystals have sentient energy. Crystals have real intelligence. If we can utilize them, if we allow ourselves to utilize them, the energy that they can bring into our world and into our consciousness, and to help us to really to move forward, is so fantastic. And so amethyst is about metamorphosis, right? This is what is written in, this is, you are in a vortex of deep transformation, surrender to the process that's unfolding. Now, I love this because he's using the word unfolding, and we've been talking about that a lot, about letting things fold into our lives and letting other things to unfold, right? And so we want to have this unfolding, and I love this because the metamorphosis takes a little bit of time. So we're still pumping the brakes, because if you look at the caterpillar, the butterfly goes, the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, and he's going to stay there until he's ready to come out, right? And then he's going to push his way out. And so right now, this is that chrysalis time. This is, listen, get the ducks in the row. Make sure you've got all the pieces together. Make sure you're ready to go, because once we're out of this retrograde, we're going to bust out of this chrysalis. And so this is a really great reminder from the amethyst card that says, listen, we are transforming. We are moving in new directions. The table is being set, but we're not ready to sit just yet. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. Chris, thank you so much. Y'all, we really do want you in the Empowered Empath method because you might have noticed that stuff is getting weird out there because people are feeling stuff and they are, hooray, Ellen's back. People are feeling lots of different ways and they're not understanding about all the different things. And so the Empowered Empath method is a 6 steps to help you really start to understand how you are processing information, how you're receiving it, how you are moving through your world, how you are allowing and folding and unfolding, and to really give you some very solid tools to help you move through the world on your terms and not really be ruled by your emotions or by other people, things like that. So the Empowered Empath Method, it's on my website, SherryDworkin-Smith.com. I know I've said it, so Chris will put a link. You can read more about it, but the enrollment is open right now, and we really do want to have y'all in there because there's a whole lot of us that are feeling like, whoo, I am overwhelmed just walking out my door. And so this really is some very practical hands-on tools to help you navigate your world and not have your world and that energy be controlling you. You can absolutely learn to control your energy, what you let in, what you send out, and how you're moving through the world. All right, so before we get into our other cards, this is very, very interesting. So these are our Malachim cards. These are the angel cards from Israel. This is English, Hebrew, and Arabic, really bringing everything together. And so these cards are ideas that sit over the top of our, that is not the right link, Chris Judd. So I'm going to delete that one because I don't want people to get confused. That is not the right link. Also not spelled correctly. Let me just delete that comment. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Nope. Still not the right link. Nope. Not the right link. Okay, hang on. I get it. I know she'd get it, but I get it. Hang on. She's going to get it before me. I know she is. Oh. That is the right link. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. My bad. It is the right. She's right. It is the right link. She was right. You know, not surprising. She was right. She was right. All right. That is the Empowered. There we go. All right. Now we've got it. All right. Sorry about that. It is the correct right link. It just wasn't showing up right. Okay. So here we have in our Malachim cards, we have reconciliation and we have health. Now this is really important because we have reconciliation, which is getting one with ourselves, getting our emotions right? We're talking about Mercury retrograde. This is this time of like revisiting things and, you know, going back and saying, okay, what could I learn from that? What could I do better? What if I needed to change something? Where, you know, this is the opportunity to revisit things, emotional situations, work situations, how we handle things. This is an opportunity to go back and make things different, right? So reconciliation is really important. And then you have health that's in there as well. And health is really about, this is about our energetic health and our emotional health. This is not so much about our physical health, but this is definitely about our emotional health and our energetic health. Because remember, Pisces is all about emotions, right? The water signs are all about emotions. So this with reconciliation and health is really important because this is a time for us to really get our minds right? Get our energy right, and any of those things that have been holding on to you, that you've just been kind of hanging out with you, like, ugh, you know, I didn't realize I was still carrying that. I didn't realize I was still mad about that thing, and just, like, this is a time to let all that stuff go and revisit it. And sometimes we can't let it go until we can get back in there and say, okay, how do I need to think about this differently? If I had the opportunity to go back and do this again, what would I do differently? And Mercury retrograde is a lot about that, right? To get our minds right. So this is a really big opportunity. All right. Let's see. All right. While I'm shuffling, I'm going to tell you one more thing. The Beyond the Loss podcast is still hosted on A1R Radio. This is the last month for the Beyond the Lost podcast on A1R Radio. We are moving in the summer, so I'm very, very excited about that. So this is, we have a really fantastic guest tomorrow. My friend Maureen Blue in New Jersey. She is a spiritualist, a healer, a medical intuitive, an amazing medium and spirit artist, and we're going to be talking about how she healed herself from cancer, how she had her a near-death experience and how she's navigating the loss of losing her beloved husband, even so many years later. So the other card was, one was health and the other was reconciliation, Sharon. So we had health, Briot, and then the other one is Pius, which is reconciliation. So there you go. There we go. Okay. All right. So moving on, I do have to say my son is cooking something in the kitchen. It smells good. All right, so where are we this week? What do we most need to know for all of us this week? What do the cards need to tell us this week? And this is silence. This card is 44. Now, y'all have heard me talk about 100 times, right? 4 legs of that chair or table, that we are supported by spirit. We are supported by the universe. So double 4s, we are really like, we got you. We are holding you. We are carrying you. But this is the silence card. And this card right now, this is telling us it is time to listen. It is time to listen. It is time for us to just get quiet because the emotions are flying, and this is not the time to be making those big decisions we were talking about. But this is just this time to listen. It's time to allow, just let the universe, it's like watch the fireworks, enjoy the show, take the messages, listen, be present, and don't worry about what's going to be tomorrow right now, okay? Okay. So what else do we need to know about being able to move forward during this time? And this is the beginnings cards. This is 7. This is the beginnings cards. And we love this card because we know that 2026 is a 1 year, right? This year is all about new beginnings. And we've been off to a rocky start, you know, with all of the planets that are heavy and moving along. But also, you know, now we've got all this violence and unrest that's going on all around the planet. And it really can throw us off. And so this is this reminder. The 7 is all about change in direction. So this is this reminder that new things are coming to us. We got to listen. We've got to be calm. We've got to be present to be able to receive those. New things are coming to us, and it's important that we are allowing these things to unfold, right? 7 is all about change in direction. We knew 2026 was going to be a change in direction year. It's a 1 year. I mean, hello. It's going to be a change in direction. So this is really important for all of us. And so where's the hiccup? Where is it the thing that's going to trip us up in this? And this is radiance. Radiance is 42. 4 and 2 is 6. And 6 is about rebirth. Right? Just look at the shape of the 6. It's like a pregnant belly. Something new is wanting to come in. Something new is wanting to be birthed into the world. And 4, you know, we've got that 4 of that number of support. 2, again, companionship. The universe is with us. We are not walking alone. And this radiance card, and if you look at this, this is the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is absolutely something wonderful is coming for us as a collective that's going to rise out of all the crap that we're seeing going on right now. There is a whole lot of people not listening. There's a whole lot of people talk. A lot of people yelling and screaming, and a lot of stuff on fire right now. And so this reminds us that there is beauty in the challenge. There's beauty in the difficulty. There's beauty in the fire. There's beauty in the fire. It's dangerous, it's strong, it's powerful, and it's destructive. But there's beauty in it, and there's also that radiance, and there is rebirth. There absolutely is rebirth. So we are watching the transformation of our planet. We're watching the transformation of humanity, and something good, okay? And there's, you know, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. Hoping that the good is coming in our lifetime, because it's not going to be quick. But what's really, really interesting is if you heard me talk about how humanity is evolving through the chakras, which I've talked about before, we've been in this throat chakra for a really long time. And now where we are is starting to come into, we're still in the throat chakra, don't get me wrong. A lot of people are really holding on to that energy. I must have my voice heard. But we're starting to come into the energy of the listening. We're starting to come into that. And that's going to be a really big part of this radiance and rebirth, okay? So we're starting to come into that. All right, so there's reconciliation, there's health, there is the encouragement to pause as we're in this retrograde and we're in this time of the eclipse and this time of emotions and this time of revisiting things, looking at past decisions, past situations. How can we do things different? How can we listen and go forward in a better way, right? How can we have new beginnings that are going to be for our benefit, our highest good? Okay, that comes from listening and being willing to fold and unfold and allow things to come into our life in a different shape and know that they're not going to look like what we expected. They're not going to look like what we thought. They're not going to look like the way they looked before. We saw that after COVID. Things did not go back to looking the way that they looked before. Some things did, but a lot of things didn't. And for all of the drama and trauma that came through COVID and the pandemic, there were some blessings that came through it as well. So how do we want to be reborn? How do we want to go forward? Because right now, this is a time of heavy transformation that's going on. And it's not quick. I mean, the war in Ukraine's been coming in its 4th year now. It's not quick, but there is, this is a time of transformation. So let's make sure that we are paying attention to the signs and the nudges that are being pointed in our direction, okay? This is a time to listen, okay? So right now, take a step back, pump those brakes, relax, let Mercury retrograde, let the eclipse. I know that this energy wants to push forward, but allow these things to be able to go forward with discernment, with listening, and again with that reconciliation about allowing for the new things to take shape, right? Sometimes we got to let go in order for the thing to get, to transform. I remember when my kids were little and we would bake, because I love to bake, and so we would bake, and we would put the eggs and the flour and the sugar and the stuff, and then we turn on the mixer, and all these things that were separated ingredients all of a sudden turned into this goo. What happened? It just got mixed all together. But then we took the goo and we put it in a pan, and we put it in the oven, and it turned into something wonderful. So what happened? There was transformation, and there was allowing in that process. All right, now also working. The old address will direct to the new address. Ah, okay, because we built that onto the old page. Fantastic, the Empowered Empath Method. Fabulous. My content manager, creator, website designer extraordinaire, Chris Judd, everyone. She is a genius. All right, so are we ready? Because now it's your turn. Are you ready? All right, so let me know. If you're here, you're ready for a card, you're wanting a card for yourself, now is the time to say, me, 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 or something to that effect, right? Chris says I have to wait. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so I see Ellen first, and I see the fabulous Chris Judd. All right, let's see what's going on for Miss Ella Jane. All right, hello everyone. All right, so I'm going to start with Ellen. So here's the scoop. If you're new, the cards are given out in the order that I see your comments. Please only put in your request one time because the amount of space that they give me to see the comments is very small. And if you push up, out, and I can't see you, then you might get missed. So please only put in your comments one time. And if you're not seeing the comments in the order that I'm seeing them, that is okay because it only matters which way I'm seeing them. So we're going to start with Ellen. And we've got Ellen. So Ellen, this card is impeccability. Impeccability. Now this is 28. 2 and 8 is 10. So 1 and 0 is 1 because we're having a 1 year. Now impeccability is not to suggest that you are not a person of integrity or that you're not being full of integrity or acting that way. Impeccability is about authenticity. Okay, this card is really about, look, tapping into your wisdom, your book of knowledge, really that silence card of listening and allowing yourself to absorb the wisdom that's being shared around you. But this card is about your authenticity. This is about knowing who you are from lifetime to lifetime and living into your authenticity. So Ellen, this is not about not being truthful with integrity. It's about authenticity, about being impeccable to yourself, right? We know we hear about with the 4 agreements, they talk about be impeccable with your words. Yes, that's really great, but this is about being impeccable with your authenticity. This is owning your space, this is owning your own energy, and this is really staying, choosing to take up some space, saying this is where I'm going to be, this is where I want to be part of, I want to be part of, this is my space, and I'm claiming claiming this, okay? So this is really so much about claiming your space, Ellen, okay? So hopefully that is helpful for you, because it does feel like there's some boundary issues that are trying to be shared with you, and so they're really talking about that it's safe for you to take up some space, and it's safe for you to breathe a bit bigger, right? To breathe a little bigger, to say, here I am, take it or leave it, this is me, right? Okay, owning you're awesome, yeah? Okay, so Ellen. All right, so we've got Chris for a health-related card. All right, what do we need to know here? What do we need to know here? Commitment. Oh, commitment. This is 10. And I love this because she's got her arms up in victory. So this is commitment, okay? So this is really talking, Chris, about staying the course, about you're going forward, you're seeing forward progress, and just keep going, okay? Be committed to doing the work that your body needs to heal, okay? Which means you're doing all the therapies that you're supposed to be doing, and you're not doing the things you're not supposed to be doing. But this is victory. This is you are absolutely going in the right direction, and that there is going to be, you are almost, see, she's on a mountaintop, but she's not all the way to the tippy top yet, but she is going, okay? She's already this high up, she's up in the clouds, but she's not quite all the way there yet. So this is commitment. This is talking about, listen, you're coming into a new level, because this is a 10 card also, right? So it's a new adventure, it's a new steps, and so we may need to look at, you know, some habits or some therapies, or do we need to incorporate new exercises? Do we need to remove some exercises? So this is taking a look at the bigger picture and saying what is working for me and what is not working for me, and staying committed to the goal, because you are 100% making progress. This card is 100% a progress card that says, I am going to be victorious. I am moving myself forward. I have climbed to the top of a mountain. I may not have reached to the summit of the highest mountain yet, but I'm absolutely moving in the right direction, okay? So I hope that that is encouraging and supportive information for you. So, all right, Maribel, and then Sharon. Maribel, this card is the light card, so this is 32, which is 5, that says, you are in the middle of the journey, Maribel. You are not there yet, but you are really the crossroads. It says there's some decisions for you to be making about which direction that you're going in. And what this card is talking about is following in your heart, okay? Follow the place that feels good to you, not necessarily the place that feels should to you, okay? That's really important, okay? We want to go in the direction that says, my heart pulls me in this direction, my heart pulls me, but as I go in the other direction, my stomach knots and makes me want to shrink back away, right? So we want to go in the direction that feels good to you and not in the direction that feels should to you, okay? So this is really, this is a great card for you, because there are some beautiful opportunities in front of you. It says, listen, follow what is, we talked about that authenticity, right? Following that path that says, where is it that I am truly being called to go, okay? This is a time for stepping into that authenticity, okay? And not so much stepping into the place of obligation to others or expectations of others, okay? This is the you time. This is very much the you time. And you know, I'm looking at my notes from last week are still here on my table, and one of the things I talked about last week with this new moon eclipse, nope, sorry, we're in the full moon. Nope, new moon, a new moon. Got my moons all crossed. Is that right? New moon, yeah, new moon. Okay, got my moons all crossed. Okay, but this is very much about sitting in the betweens and sitting in the silence between the moon with that dark moon before we get into the new moon is that sliver of light. So we have this dark moon. So I don't want to have my mind about a full moon. That this is this new moon eclipse that is about sitting in the quiet and allowing ourselves to be heard, allowing our true selves to be heard, right? That's part of that retrograde. So sorry, I know I had full moon on my mind for some reason. All right, so this is for Sharon. And for Sharon, this is the gratitude card, and this is 26. This is 8. 2 and 6 is 8. This is the gratitude card that says, listen, in all the things, make sure that you're doing things for the right reason, and making sure that you are staying in that place of love, right? We know that love is a high vibration energy. We want to stay in that place of love and above, okay? And so, Sharon, this is just this reminder that even the places that are hiccups and that are trials and tribulations that are still taking us to in the right direction, that there is no, I've messed up and we're going backwards, okay? everything is helping us to go forward, even when it feels like we've got a loop back around us, is we're just gaining that wisdom and momentum to go forward again, okay? But this is also has to do with, because you see she's looking up, okay? She's looking up, and she's looking up into the sun, the moon, the stars. This is the wisdom, okay? She's looking up for the wisdom. And so this is also this place of refilling your bucket, refilling your heart, refilling your wisdom, tapping into things that you already know. And this feels very much to me about what is the next thing you're going to share? What is the next thing you're going to write about? It does feel like there's an essay that wants to be written, or that you're maybe working on, because this is looking up saying, I'm receiving this wisdom, because the gratitude is not just for the stuff that's going on right here on earth. This is gratitude for this higher wisdom, because if you look at this card and you see it when it shows up in the computer, there's this halo around the moon that says there is more that's going on here. This is the light within, okay, the halo. And it reminds us of the eclipse, because when I look at the card back here, it doesn't, here I can't see that halo. When I hold it up to the camera, it shows this halo, that there's more that's there, that's more that's radiating out. And so this is talking about not just your gratitude radiating out into others, but how is this knowledge and wisdom, the wisdom of the moon, how is that going to move out and be shared outwards with others? So it does feel like she's looking up into receiving this wisdom that is going to be shared. And as I say these things to you, I hear this word in my head: essay, essayist, essay. Okay, and this is about writing. So perhaps not a book, but there's definitely some an essay, some thoughts that perhaps. And it also feels like this may be letters to a friend. And when I say this, it's almost as if it's like things I would like to write so that they're left behind for my loved ones, okay? So this is things that I have been meaning to say to the people who are important to me. And this is not a projector of anything, negative, but this is just what's coming through to me, is that it feels as if there is some information about things I'd like to say that I'd like to be known either now or to be delivered in a more, at the time of my choosing. But this is very much about sharing wisdom. This card is about sharing wisdom. I have lived this life. I have this gratitude. I want to share this wisdom. Okay? All right. Candace. Candace. What does Candace need to know? Okay, Candace. Joy! This is 30. Joy. Now, with the 3, there's always more to the story, okay? The 3 reminds us there's this side, and then there's the truth, and the 2 come forward, and we get the true story. So joy, this says to you, please remember to stay in the place of joy, because we may be feeling a little bit somber right now, and feeling as if we're not really tapped in, and they're trying to remind you that there is things, if you are willing to look for them, there's places we can find the joy, but there's more to the story that's going on. So we might have to look a little deeper to find the things to bring us joy, or the things that we can be joyful about. But they're really talking about valuing the joy. It's very, very easy for us to look at all the stuff going on in the world right now, especially in our own lives, to be able to say, hum, 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 hum. And they're saying, no, it's going to take conscious effort for us to say, I'm going to pick up the hems of my skirt and I'm going to dance in the street. That is a conscious choice. Okay, so this is a real reminder that joy is a conscious choice. Okay, what we do, how we choose to move through the world, how we choose to move through our lives. Joy is available to us, and that is up to us whether we are going to be part of that or not. Okay, so Candace, there's some heavy things going on around you, but they're saying there's still joy to be seen and to be embraced and to be found. Okay, all right. So we've got Stephen. Am I missing anything here? Okay, Chris. Yep, you got it. You got it. Maribel, you got it. Sharon, you got it. All right. So Stephen, and then Stacy. All right. Okay, Stephen. This is focus. This is 22. This is 22. So 2 and 2 is 4. You know what those numbers mean? I know you do. You tune in every week. Focus. This is reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Okay, keep your mind on. This is a real stay in your lane card, okay? There's so much going on in that brain of yours. There's so many different things for you to be like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And they're saying, listen, let's stay in our lane. Let's stay focused. Let's make sure we do one project at a time. We want to make sure we're taking this forward. And what I love is, can you see the butterfly on the end of the telescope here that says, listen, we're watching you. We've got you. We're paying very close attention to what's going on. We are going to put all this wisdom into your brain, and it is still going to be here once you're done with one project at a time. So they're just trying to keep you focused and not let Let's not let any kind of like ADD get into the picture there, okay? So they're with you 100%. There's a lot of blessings around these things that you're creating, but there's many opportunities. And so discernment is going to be really important here to say, okay, listen, I can do that, but I can't do it right now. I've got to keep my eye on the ball, okay? All right, so then we've got Stacy. And, okay. Stacy, this is action, card number 3. Now, you heard me say about number 3 before, about there's more to that story. There's stuff that's going to unfold in that. But this is a time of action. Now, I say this even though we've said all the things about in the first half of our time together today about waiting, about pumping the brakes, about seeing what's going on. Because I want you to notice the archer is pulling the string back on the bow, but we have not let go yet, okay? We are still looking at the target, Stacy. We're still looking at where am I going, what am I doing? And just like Stephen, there's a lot of light that's in front of you, but look over here, maybe not so much light. So it's going to be really important to say, where are you putting your attention? Where are you putting your focus? What is it that you are aiming at? And are you sure that that is the right direction for you? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But everything that we're talking about with Pisces and the eclipse and Mercury retrograde, just once you figure it out, just hold, okay? Don't let go of that bow just yet. Just hold. Let's make sure we know where we're going and make sure that we're going in the place that is the right place for us, okay? All right, so we have Kimmy. Okay, you got it, okay. Oh, enjoy the walk. The weather is beautiful, Sharon. Enjoy the walk. I hope it's being beautiful on the west coast of Florida as well. So you are welcome, Stephen. Kimmy, yes, absolutely. And then we'll do a card to wrap it all up. So Kimmy, this is a success card. This is 47. So 4 and 7 is 11, which is 1 and 1 is 2. That says, listen, you are walking the path to success, but we are walking it with you. Okay, so look, this is a straight but not smooth journey. And you can see it with the steps it makes the camera go wobbly. Okay, there are steps. You see it back here? Steps. So it is a straight journey for your success. Okay, Kimmy, but it is not flat. It is not smooth. We are still very behind on the Olympics, right? So we are still watching the Olympics, and we are watching ski mountaineering, and that was very interesting. This was the first year for ski mountaineering in the Olympics. Very interesting. They had these climbing things on their skis so they could climb like this huge slope up the hill, and then they had to take their skis off and then go upstairs, and then they had to put their skis back on and then ski up the hill some more, and then they had to take these little things off their skis and slide down the mountain, okay? But that was a lot, and it was really fun to watch. It was about 3 minutes of crazy, but the path is up. But that doesn't mean it's easy, but the path is there for you, okay? So the path is there for you that says, we're with you, and we're walking with you, but it's not necessarily going to be easy, and it's really important that you keep going. Keep going. So even if you got to take your skis off and put them on and put them off and put them on, keep going, because you are absolutely going the right track. You are going in the right direction to get into all that light, okay? The path is there. Stay the course, okay? Excellent. All right, one last card to wrap it all up for everybody, and we'll call it good for next. Now, next Monday is a maybe because I'm traveling this weekend, so then we'll have to see where my schedule is to bring me back on Monday. So we will see. We may, right now I have it on the schedule, and it's just really going to depend on the travel because I'm traveling with other people and I don't have all the control of that. So it may very well be that in the last minute you'll see the I can't be there graphic. So hopefully not, but so just check on Monday before, and just know if I cancel at the last minute, I do apologize. So this is the last card for all of us. You are welcome, Kimmy. This is the purification card, right? This is the purification card. This is 41, so 4 and 1 is 5, right? So we are in the crossroads. We know we're in the crossroads. This is the 1 year. We know this is new directions, new adventures. We know that we are right now with this new moon and the eclipse and Mercury retrograde and Pisces with all the emotions and all the feelings. We know this is a crossroads. Are you going in the right direction? Are you moving? Are you in, we saw it last week with all the show me stuff. Show me if, I don't want to just have talk. I want to know what's really true. That we are being in our impeccability we talked about being authentic with ourselves, being connected to our truest self, doing what we are wanting to do in our hearts, not necessarily what we feel like we should do, okay? Doing what's bringing us into the love, into the light. Because look at this card, it is beautiful with all the wisdom of the mighty, the water and the light, and all the beautiful rose petals and flower petals, and if you've got crepe myrtles that bloom and cherry blossoms that looks like it's snowing pink, right? And so these are beautiful, beautiful places that are coming to us, that we are moving towards. We got to get through all the crap first, okay? So patience, discernment, staying in our lane, staying in that place of gratitude. But no, this is a purification. This is absolutely a rebirth time that humanity is coming from one chakra into the next chakra. We are in this time of transformation, and so this is reminding us to hold on tight, because it isn't necessarily going to be easy, but we are going to get to the good place. Okay, we absolutely are going to get to the good place. So I will leave you with that. I look forward to seeing you hopefully next Monday. And please remember that enrollment for the Empowered Empath Method is open, but is only open until the 10th. After the 10th, the enrollment will still be open, but you will no longer be eligible for the live coaching and Q&A session for me that's going to be on March 25th. It will be recorded, but if you'd like to be part of the live coaching session, you definitely want to get your enrollment in before the 10th of March. So information is here on the website, information on the Facebook page, it's on Instagram, it's on my website. Information is everywhere. We're looking forward to having you with us. Definitely want to have you with us for the live coaching call on the 25th. Have a fantastic week. I will hopefully see you next week. And always remember how very much you truly are loved. You are. The universe loves you, and so do I.